Hey guys, Sonic Smash Bro here, and if you can't tell by that little icon in the PvP section, yes, I have hit King of Games with Synchrons only a few hours ago. And the reason for this video existing, well, let's just say compared to the KC Cup, this list has changed quite a bit. So, I may as well profile this again, considering it the March 2023 profile for this. Because, yeah, it's basically going to be the list going into March. So, let's just get right into it, starting with what all hasn't really changed. The main skill of choice, Shooting Star Road. Same as before. At the start of a duel, place a junk converter in your graveyard, and if you control Stardust Dragon, you can play Formula Synchron to the field from outside of your deck. Then you can place Turbo Synchron, Nitro Synchron, and Hyper Synchron on top of your deck from outside of your deck, and you are still locked into Wind Dragon type Synchro monsters or Warrior Synchro monsters until the end of your opponent's next turn. And same restrictions as usual. Your main deck must have at least 8 in combination of Junk or Synchron monsters, and your extra deck must have at least Shooting Star Dragon, and 4 in combination of Junk, Synchron, or Stardust monsters. Same deal as before. So, moving on to what also hasn't changed. Triple Junk Synchron, our main boy, our core. When normal summon, target a level 2 or lower in graveyard, special summon in defense with effects negated. The effect negation basically never matters, as mentioned before. And still the same old 1 Jet Synchron. When sent to the graveyard as Synchro material, add a junk monster from deck to hand. Or if it's in your graveyard, discard a card to grave, special summon from grave, but banish when it leaves the field. And that is where the similarities mostly end. We're now doing Double Junk Servant, the 1 Junk Forward because that extender is still amazing, and Double Junk Changer, a card I did not mention previously, so let's go over it here. You can only use the following effect of Junk Changer once per turn. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can target a junk monster on the field, then either increase or decrease its level by 1. So, there's a bit of a reason as to why I'm going with this now. And that is the last monster in the deck, by the way. As mentioned previously, Junk Converter is way too vulnerable to getting removed from your graveyard before you ever get a chance to use it. So, yeah. I needed to make this list a lot less graveyard reliant, and this was kind of the way to do it. Because we can do normal summon Junk Changer, make it level 4, special summon Junk Servant, and there's your Stardust Dragon. Or, we can do special Junk Forward, normal Changer, don't change the level, go Brionac, or Junk Changer becomes level 2, special Servant, go Brionac. So we not only have more options, we have another way into Stardust Dragon, as well as the usual Forward Servant, now just Jet Synchron combo. So we don't have to rely too much on the graveyard compared to last time. We'll still be needing it, don't get me wrong, but this is just a way to not have to rely on it as much, and that can be crucial sometimes. Especially against Medulce and Infernoid in particular! Infernoid is a pain, it is a pain, it is a pain, it is a pain. But that's it for monsters, on to spells and traps. Same deal as before with the Monster Reborn, target a monster in either graveyard and special summon it. Same deal. Just such a great extender, man. What has changed is I've taken out the Tuning Gums and put in Forbidden Lances. Target one face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn. That target loses 800 attack, but it is unaffected by the effects of other spell and trap cards. Yeah, you know back row is a problem when I am running 5 anti-back row cards, because yes, I am still playing Triple Cosmic. Pay 1,000 life points, target a spell or trap on field, and banish it. Same deal as before. We're now down to double tuning. As good as tuning is, we cannot afford to go over 20 cards. But this is still as useful as ever. Add a Synchron tuner from deck to hand, send top card of the deck to the grave. The Grave Mill is not as good as it would be with Tuning Gun, but it can still on rare occasions be useful. So yeah, we are having less Junk Synchrons than last time, but we're also in possession of other ways to go into Stardust Dragon, so it doesn't matter all the time, but it can still matter. And last up, the usual triple compulsory evacuation device. Target a monster on field, return to hand. We still need an out to Galaxy Eyes and Goki. Or, we can do something big brain that I'll show in a little bit, but nonetheless. So yeah, the main deck has changed quite a bit compared to the February 2023 profile of this. The extra deck, however, still the same as ever. Shooting Star, our main heavy hitter. Once per turn, excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, shuffle them back in, and the maximum number of attacks that turn equals the number of tuners you excavated that way. Still has the destruction prevention, which people still forget about. I don't know why. And it can still banish itself to negate an attack if you can target that monster in the first place, and special summon itself back to the field. Same deal as before. Stardust Warrior. Same deal as usual. If your opponent would special summon a monster, and it's not through an effect, like a fusion spell or what have you, tribute this card, negate the summon, and destroy those monsters, then return to the field from your graveyard in the end phase. And the float effect is a bit more useful than I thought, because it can still trigger if Stardust Warrior gets banished. So this can come up sometimes. The float effect can come up if you have a level 8 or lower Warrior Synchro monster that you can summon, and it is treated as a Synchro summon, so Jet Warrior is still really good there. So yeah, it can come up. And yes, I do have a full playset of Shooting Star Dragons now. Still the same old Junk Destroyer, target cards on the field up to the number of non-tuners you use for its Synchro summon and destroy them. Extra little bit of back row popping. Stardust Dragon, once Ibly gets banned, the Salamangreat Banelinks goes out and we put in a second Stardust Dragon. As usual, destruction prevention through tributing and then returning itself to the field from the graveyard in the end phase. Same deal as before. And the reason why we need 2 Stardust Dragons once Ibly gets banned, rockets are a very powerful engine. We need to out the Silver Rocket Dragon destruction that would otherwise banish our 1 Stardust Dragon, so we need a backup copy. Still the same old Brionac Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Discard any number of cards to the grave, target the same amount your opponent controls, and bounce them. Junk Warrior, pretty much just there to fill the Shooting Star Road requirement, and as a float-in from Stardust Warrior, the gaining attack of level 2 or lower monsters you currently control basically never matters. Crystron Amatrix, aside from putting certain monsters into defense mode, and just being a generic Synchro to climb with, also has another use now. Let's say on the rare occasions this happens, you open Junk Changer and Monster Reborn, but you don't have another combo you can do. Normal Changer, don't change the level. Reborn, target Converter, and there's your full combo with Amatrix. And yes, we do still play the generic Cyber Slink 1 because we still need to have an out to Nightmare Crawler for Ibly. Ban Ibly, please. Just saying. So yeah, that's all that's changed with the deck itself. And I've got some replays to show. Plenty of them, in fact. Specifically my road to King of Games. Ignore those little icons there. That's actually a bug. I don't know why that happens. But anyway, in order to hit King of Games from Legend 5, you need to win 5 games in a row. Which, as you can see here, that can be tricky to say the least. But before we get to that win streak, there's an extra replay I want to show during one of those attempts, because, hoo boy, am I proud of this one. We are dealing with Dark Magician Turbo. I say Turbo because this uses the Spellbook engine to get to everything as quickly as possible.
Witness the bond.
Now, a trick up the sleeve is really interesting, because this means your starting hand will more likely have a level 7 spellcaster. In other words, you're more likely to open with a Dark Magician in hand. Really interesting niche, I would say. So, like before, I'm just going to mash through most of this.
I activate my monsters effect. The tuner monster, the hopes of the world coalesce into a single...
So, the usual Synchro climbing the Stardust Dragon. But here's where things get a bit weird. I do end up putting the tuners on top of a deck, even though it doesn't matter. Because I set up for next turn, so realistically it would be safe to do that, right? Well, I end up not needing to. So let's see how this Arcana actually plays out his turn. Yes, it's pronounced Arcana in this case, not Arcana. So, Spellbook of Secrets, Search the Prophecy. Magician of Prophecy, rather. Magician of Prophecy adds Spellbook of Knowledge. Knowledge sends Magician of Prophecy to grave to get him 2 more draws. Pot of Duality, which I still absolutely despise, by the way. Doesn't matter what format it is. The Circle comes out. He sets 2 back row, one of which I'm pretty sure is Eternal Soul. So I end up having an idea right here. Go Stardust Warrior. And here's where that idea starts to form. Junk Synchron, you think I'd go Junk Converter? No, I'm going Formula Synchron. Magician's Navigation activates. Here comes the Dark Magician.
Here comes the greatest magician of all.
And new summoning animation I get to let play out. And the evil Dark Magician art too, so hey, that's kind of cool. Okay, that is actually pretty sick now that I think about it. And double Dark Magician, that won't matter.
You fell right into my trap.
Circle activates, and that's what I was hoping for.
Even the tiniest scrap has value.
This man just played himself. Because the Junk Warrior flip happens, and that's exactly what I was counting on. The attack gain doesn't matter. Junk Destroyer gets to come out. Pop the back row, which I'm guaranteeing you was Eternal Soul, and it turned out to be. Special summon Junk Servant, because I have Junk Destroyer on the field. Go into Brianak. Pitch the Junk Changer I just drew. Bounce 1 Dark Magician. Compulsory comes up. And bounces the other one. Left this poor soul completely speechless. That was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful.
My deck was clearly better than yours.
The power of my bond over yours was the determining factor.
That was just amazing. Anyway, let's get on to the win streak proper. And so, to kick this off, we have another Dark Magician Turbo.
Witness the Yugi.
So this hand ended up being a bit weird.
It's my turn.
I ended up wanting to go into Jet Synchron here to do the Forward Servant level 1 tuner combo. Special summon forward. There's a Junk Monster on field, so special summon Servant. And here comes Stardust Dragon. I'll let the summoning animations play out on the last duel because I did get all 3 of them there. Shooting Star Road triggers. I don't place the tuners on top this time.
It's my turn. I draw a card from my hand.
Spellbook of Knowledge. Pitch the Magician of Prophecy already.
From my hand. I'm counting on you. My monster's effect.
Magician's Rod, just to be safe. Search the Eternal Soul.
I set a card.
Formula Synchron's effect activate. Let's rev it up. Spread your wings.
Go into Shooting Star Dragon immediately to make sure my Formula Synchron is safe. End phase. Cosmic Cyclone, the Dark Magical Circle.
Turn is done.
It's go time.
And he scoops right there because he couldn't start banishing anything.
Just as much as I do, if not more.
What a fool.
Thank you for a great duel, Yugi.
So, next up is a little bit interesting, but that's mainly because this guy did not play the optimal skill for it because he wasn't playing the optimal character. We are up against Madolche, and I hate how Madolche is used right now. All they do is either sit on back row until they get into their combo, or they shuffle their entire hand into the deck until they get their one monster combo.
Don't invite me to Duel. My turn.
Now, I end up playing this really weird, to say the absolute least.
It's go time.
I was all prepared to do the Junk Changer Monster Reborn combo I mentioned earlier, and then I top deck Tuning. Except, here's a situation where I didn't want to take any chances. Madolche Ticket there makes it so that you can shuffle a monster back to deck, and then Ticket triggers, and adds it back to your hand anyway.
I activate my monster's effect.
So, I end up prioritizing what I consider to be the bigger threat.
Ironclad alloy forged together.
The Madolche Ticket.
Junk Destroyer's effect activates. I'm not scared. Junk Destroyer attacks. Fist of ferocity.
So Madolche Hoot Cake gets to shuffle itself back into the deck because it was destroyed and sent to the graveyard.
I draw. I end my turn.
It's my turn. I draw. From my hand.
Now, I don't know why they passed there, but that top deck Cosmic Cyclone gave me game. Banish the Drowning Mirror Force.
I activate a spell.
Monster Reborn. Grab back Crystron Amatrex.
Here's my tuner.
Normal Summon Jet Synchron. And Brianek gets to shine here. The search for Junk Synchron would have happened. Bounce back the other back row. And that would have been game right there, so they just scooped. Game 3 shows how typical Yu-Gi-Oh! Players do not read card effects. Because we are up against Blue Eyes. And it specifically has to be Dark Side of Dimensions Kaiba, because he is the only one of the two with the skill Ultimate Dragons.
Power waiting to be unleashed.
And honestly, DSOD Kaiba has the better theme anyway, so I'm not complaining.
With my cards in my...
How interesting. You'll regret challenging me to a duel. Duel!
It's mine. I set a cup. I know what to do.
Now, this one junk forward ends up saving me in so many ways by complete accident.
I'm counting on you. The hopes of the world coalesce into a single... Take flight! I activate my monster's effect. The tuner monster... Witness the bomb... I end my turn.
My turn. I draw. The souls of my dragon.
Yeah, I forgot to let that quote play out, but hey, Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. Because that got a summon animation. Blue Eyes Alternative is a bit weird. Now, what I was expecting versus what actually happened was two different things. I went Shooting Star Dragon expecting him to be dumb and forget that Shooting Star has destruction prevention, but he's dumb in a different way with Shooting Star. Enemy Controller, for some reason, takes my Shooting Star Dragon, and despite the fact that Blue Eyes plays Sacred Eyes of Blue and White Stone of Ancients, both of which are tuners, so he could be using the multiple attacks, he doesn't trigger that effect. So I banished the Karma Cut with Cosmic Cyclone, and I'm free to just swing here. No need to excavate whatsoever, no need to take any unnecessary risks. Yeah, that's kind of your own fault there, dude. Next time, read the cards.
This isn't over between us.
The power of my bond over yours was the determining factor.
More like the power of him not reading card effects. I don't know how that did not end in my loss, but I'll take it. I mean, come on, you have 6 tuners, you have plenty of chances. All you would have needed is 2 attacks and you would have just ended me. So next up, the 4th of these 5 games is Trains. Anna's signature, and for a good reason. Although Trains are a bit weird. They're cool to see, but at the same time, irritating to fight when all they do is sit on back row and just wait for their win condition.
Any last words?
Duel.
But I did check the deck list, and this guy threw here.
You won't get away from Flying Pet Super Express. Speed on it.
So, realistically, right?
Flying Pegasus is a fact. Appear. I build the overlay network.
Here, I was expecting Steel Swarm Roach because, you know, rank 4, and Steel Swarm Roach is broken.
Bring it on.
It's go time.
But what I don't end up seeing, for some reason,
Stop right
is
there.
that he goes Abyss Dweller.
Monster's effect activates.
I'm guessing to lock out my Junk Converter's Graveyard effect, but this is where Junk Forward comes in.
I need your help.
Banished the Book of Moon, that left 1 back row on the field,
Junk Synchron's effect. Okay. The hopes of the world coalesce.
and I just end up going straight for it.
Take flight.
Now obviously Junk Converter can't bring back the Junk Synchron, but that does not matter. And yeah, I had Forbidden Lance.
Everything has value.
So,
So every card and move.
that little bit of back row protection would have saved me anyway. Had he gone Steel Swarm Roach, I was screwed. Actually, wait, maybe not, because with Lance, I would have run him over with Junk Synchron anyway. But yeah, last game in the win streak. Yes, this player named themselves 666. I don't know why. You might be thinking, oh hey, it's Jaden. You're expecting Heroes, right? One of the many variants it has for some reason? Well,
Time to get my game on.
Life Boost Alpha, that already deconfirmed it.
Each card has power waiting to be unleashed.
Because otherwise they'd be using one of 2 skills. Hero Alliance or Favorite Duel.
Jaden,
Both of which
I
are
know you
dumb.
and I will have a fun duel.
Time duel. Here I go. My turn. I know you'll help me out. I summon a
I expected Mech Knight Ibli. I was not expecting Goki here.
It's my
But he
turn.
seems to have
I
bricked.
draw. From my hand.
So I'll admit, I did get a bit careless here. Because I wanted to go all in on this while I had the chance.
The tuner monster,
Banish the expendable
Junk
die.
Synchron. Junk Synchron's effect.
And do the full Synchro climb.
Okay. I
Special summon Junk Servant.
Even the tiniest scrap has value.
And as promised, I'll let the animations play out here.
Summon. Appear, Junk Warrior. Junk Warrior gains, I activate my monster's effect.
And yeah, the Junk Servant special summon is
The
not a
tuner
once per
monster,
turn.
Junk Synchron.
So in this case,
I special the hopes of the world coalesce into a single star. Let's rev it up. Synchro summon.
yeah, I went all in, can't you tell?
Take flight. Stardust Dragon.
That summon animation is still awesome to this day.
Witness the bond with my cards.
But you know what's even better?
Let's rev it up. Spread your wings and soar to new heights. Be transformed by the winds of destiny. Excel Synchro.
The single summon animation that, in my opinion, totally not biased, Kappa, got the most love out of them all.
Up here, shooting star dragon.
Yes, that is all a direct reference to a very legendary moment in
Shooting
5Ds.
star dragon's effect activates.
Turbo, Nitro, Hyper, and for good measure, Junk Synchron. I wanted 5 attacks to make this even more poetic, but oh well.
Shooting star dragon attacks. Falling star slam.
I much prefer the Japanese name Stardust Mirage, by the way.
Not bad. Here goes nothing.
So, Rai Scorpio searches the Octa stretch, but he can only delay the inevitable.
Go. I attack you directly.
I won't let you do that. My monster's effect activates.
Go. I attack you directly.
And with that, Synchron's in King of Games.
Whoa, your skills are sweet. Winning's never easy.
No matter how difficult the duel, you faced it with a smile. I will take that to heart, Jaden.
Yeah, next time play your actual deck, you'll do much better. So yeah, with that, as you'll see, including the bugged and mini icons there that shouldn't be there, Synchron's in King of Games. That was not easy to say the least. I was running into quite a few problems, let's say. But nonetheless, it has been done right before the end of the season, and that's with less time than usual because I had the KC Cup to worry about. So yeah, that was the thing. I'm amazed that I did it, but hey. So with that one last time, let's just show the deck list proper, at least the main deck. You've seen the extra deck plenty by now. Surprised I did not run into a single Mech Knight Ibley during that win streak. But, until the next video, whatever it is, it might actually possibly be base cross polls on Dive, who knows? Because he might come a bit sooner than I had planned. But either way, until whatever the next video is, later guys.